And just as I expected, there's a lot to talk about this week again. Summer Game Fest is going on after all. Every week, I make a video detailing any video game news that interests me because although Nico and I play a lot of games, he has a tendency to be pretty oblivious to news about them, while I'm pretty obsessed with it. So here's everything I think Nico should know about in game news the week of June 12th, 2022. Maybe it's because I've been having such a great time playing as a vampire in V Rising, but when I came across this new release date trailer for Evil West, I was intrigued. I'd never heard of this game before, but it looks like a fun third-person shooter where you play as a vampire hunter in the Old West. It's being developed by Flying Wild Hog for 1 or 2 players and is releasing on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on September 20th. The Summer Game Fest event streamed live to audiences worldwide on Thursday, June 9th. There were a lot of trailers, and it felt like there were a lot of outer space horror things, including Aliens Dark Descent, the Callisto Protocol, and Fort Solaris, just to name a few. It really feels like more and more games are being developed whose sole purpose is to scare me, gross me out, or both. I've never played an Aliens game or a Dead Space game, and those are pretty popular, so maybe I'll check these out. Or maybe I'll be too chicken. Only time will tell. Outriders is releasing their Worldslayer expansion later this month on June 30th, and what better way to hype it up than with a new trailer? There are new environments, new enemies, new guns, new class trees, new endgame, lots of new stuff. I really enjoyed playing through the campaign with Nico when this originally released, and look forward to playing more and hearing my character say, "There's some notes here." No, really, there's something rather endearing about playing a dumb hero. Hoyoverse showed off trailers for 2 upcoming games, Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based role-playing game, while Zenless Zone Zero is an action game with some absolutely banging music. Honestly, I might just play that for the music. One of the things that Nico and I did when we first started streaming on Twitch together was playing whatever the latest free game was on the Epic Games Store. This was how I discovered Layers of Fear and Layers of Fear 2, 2 psychological horror games developed by Bloober Team. Even though scary games make me cry, I thoroughly enjoyed both games, so I was happy to learn that Bloober Team's new upcoming game was Layers of Fears. According to Bloober Team, it will be the complete, definitive, and at the same time unpredictable way to discover the stories of artists enslaved by their obsessions. It is being developed with the new Unreal Engine 5 and is expected to release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC in 2023. There's a new trailer for a game called WITCHFIRE, which I had previously never heard of. It's being developed by the astronauts, who are also responsible for The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, an excellent game. WITCHFIRE is a first-person shooter that takes place in a dark fantasy world. I am intrigued by the mixture of guns and magic and look forward to checking out this game when it releases in early access later this year on the Epic Games Store. Inflection Games showed off a new trailer for their upcoming survival crafting game, Nightingale. Players will be tasked with utilizing the resources of the land to not only stay alive, but also create realm cards that allow you to travel between realms. I'm really excited about this and can't wait to play it. It's supposed to be releasing in early access on PC later this year. The next event was from Devolver Digital. Their stuff is always entertaining to watch, mostly because of all the tongue-in-cheek, self-deprecating humor. The one game that stood out to me was Cult of the Lamb, developed by Massive Monster. It's an action roguelike dungeon crawler where you gather loyal followers and build the ultimate cult. It's releasing on PC on August 11th, and a demo is available for download now on Steam. From the Epic Games Store Summer Showcase, we were introduced to a new co-op survival crafting game, Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria. If vampires are the hot new enemy these days, survival games are the hot video game genre, it seems. I'm reminded of when every game was making a battle royale version. Now we're getting survival games for everything. I'm cool with that since I really enjoy them, but I hope it doesn't get too saturated. Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria has everything we can expect from a survival crafting game: combat, exploration, base building, and it's due to release in spring of 2023 on the Epic Games Store. Next up are announcements from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. We got our first gameplay trailer from Arcane Austin for vampire slaying game Redfall. The different characters have different abilities that you can utilize to work together to defeat your enemies. While this game can be played solo, considering how much fun I have playing squad-based shooters with Nico, I look forward to checking this game out with him when it releases next year on Xbox and PC. Because let's face it, it's highly unlikely I'll be able to progress the story without his help. Activision Blizzard has announced the final class that will be included in their upcoming Diablo 4 game via a creepy cinematic trailer, the Necromancer. They confirmed a 2023 release window for the game on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC with cross-play and cross-progression across all platforms. They also shared a developer gameplay showcase that shows off its open world, combat, character creation, endgame, local events, and world bosses. As someone who prefers to play Diablo as a single-player game or in small groups, I'm a bit apprehensive about this new Diablo, but we'll see. According to a tweet from Adam Fletcher, global community lead for Diablo, there will be paid content in the form of optional cosmetic items and future expansions, but he didn't provide any additional details. Atlus's Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are coming to Xbox consoles and PC. Atlus also announced that they are being released on the PlayStation 5, but they didn't give any release date information. I own all three of these games on their corresponding PlayStation consoles, but haven't gotten around to playing them yet since I tend to spend most of my gaming time in front of my computer. Persona 5 Royal will be the first to release on October 21st, so maybe I'll finally get around to playing it. The other two titles are expected to release sometime in 2023. I tend to prefer the Shin Megami Tensei games over the Persona games, but I love them all. Scorn, the incredibly gross-looking survival horror game inspired by the art of H.R. Giger from Ebb Software, has a new trailer with a release date. I used to buy the H.R. Giger calendar every year in the 1980s and hang them up in my room when I was a teenager, so I'm really excited to play this when it releases on Xbox consoles and PC on October 21st. We finally got a good look at Starfield gameplay from Bethesda. I have been pretty excited about this game because I love the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and the idea of having something similar in outer space sounded fantastic to me. The videos they shared did not disappoint. They gave me some serious No Man's Sky vibes, albeit with a less vibrant color palette, which is another space game that I absolutely adore, so I'm totally sold. In fact, it looks like some people have taken to calling Starfield No Man's Skyrim. That sounds absolutely perfect to me, quite frankly. There's exploration, combat, crafting, base building, factions, you get the idea. I can't wait to play this when it releases on Xbox and PC next year. And finally, the PC Gaming Show was a 2-hour event showcasing tons of trailers and information about upcoming PC games. Of greatest interest to me was a new trailer and short interview with Warren Spector about the System Shock remake. I've never played the original, but I know it's one of those classics that everyone says you should play. I had been thinking of playing the original version when I heard about the remake, so I'm just going to wait until the remake arrives on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Unfortunately, we don't have any release date information, but I'm hoping maybe next year. And that's it for game news this week. Honestly, there was a lot more, but I cut some stuff. There are a ton of links to trailers and the presentations in the description below, and I highly recommend you watch as many as you can. It's really a great time to be a gamer, and I hope you join me again next week for more news and adventure. Until then, play lots of games and have an awesome week.